I now call this meeting of the Amateur Detective Club to order. I'm Tyler Riley, cop and a half.
I'm Melissa Meli, the spy.
I'm Tristan Miller, the saucy sleuth.
Today's show is brought to you by Audible. Audible is offering our listeners a free audiobook with a 30-day trial membership. Just go to audibletrial.com/ADCpod and browse the unmatched selection of audio programs. Download a title free and start listening. It's that easy. Go to audibletrial.com/ADCpod.
Performed by the incomparable Ian Holm. We are going to be covering that in a few weeks, so look for that episode. It is a long book, and you will get your money's worth, or your free credit worth. It's 24 hours, this book. Oh boy.
Maybe you listen to it all at once.
Yeah.
And just make a day of it. Take a bath as you're listening.
Take
I don't
24-hour bath. Get all sorts of pruny.
Well, I mean, that's one thing you can do as part of your day-long excursion to listen to this book. Maybe I'll do it. I'm not going to. I will fall asleep because I'm 100 years old.
No, let's do it, Melissa. We'll get on a Twitch stream and we will just listen together for 24 hours straight.
No, I don't have a bath anymore. So I'll stand in the shower. I'll get a chair. I'll get a lawn chair. Folding chair, sit in the shower.
Perfect.
Ooh, or get a lawn chair and an umbrella and just sit like you're sitting in the rain.
Yeah. I mean, water is free in New York. I don't have to pay for that.
That's right.
Wow. Water's more free than black people. Rude.
Oh.
I mean,
you're not wrong. You're not wrong. Whew.
Really brought the whole
water.
Just screeching to a halt. So what are we talking about today?
We are back at it with Poirot. Episode 2 of series number 5. The episode entitled The Underdog.
Underdog.
Who watched the cartoon? Me.
Yes.
Yes. I mean, it's a dog.
We've all seen it.
And it's
of course.
Of course.
It's a dog with a cape.
Yeah. Underdog, Hong Kong Phooey.
No, Hong Kong Phooey, Penelope Pit Stop, obviously the Jetsons and the Flintstones.
Oh, his name was Muttley, but what was the show he was on?
Ooh.
I do not recall.
Dick Dastardly was was it Catch the Pigeon?
No, that was Penelope Pit Stop.
Was that?
I believe so. Anyway.
Okay. They were on Wacky Races as well, which is where I first really knew them.
American Speed Racer, if you will.
Uh-huh.
So this show stars David Suchet as Poirot.
Okay. Yeah, it does.
Hugh Fraser as Arthur Hastings and Pauline Moran as Felicity Lemon.
Hate to be that guy, but it's Captain Arthur Hastings.
He's Captain. Crunchitize me, Captain Hastings. Good Lord.
Good Lord.
Oh my.
I want his face on a button that says, good
I'm
Lord.
sure you can find one. I'm sure they're available somewhere. So, this starts out in a science lab. He's working in the lab late one night. Mm-hmm. Because there's no union.
I mean, sure.
I make that joke every Halloween, and you are the first person to laugh. So we see this man whose name I don't know, and we don't know for a little bit. It's Troilus and Cressida.
I honestly was like, if nobody says this in this episode, I'm gonna have no clue on how to pronounce this. They do say it once in the episode, and it only happens once, and I already forget how it's pronounced. So your guess is as good as mine.
It's okay.
And I don't have a guess, so.
Trifus, played by Bill Wellius, Horace Trifus, which sounds like habeas corpus.
It's not Richard Trifus?
No. All right. About how there's this new advancement in technology, and that's the opening scene. That's like the pseudo cold open, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then do we go to Poirot?
Yes, and Miss Lemon is furthering her occult studies in this episode. Not exactly. I mean, to be fair, hypnosis is used by psychologists. It's just on the, like, it can be misused by amateurs, and it's one of those things in psychology that everyone's like, but is that really?
I say hypiesis.
Yeah. So Miss Lemon is trying to hypnotize him, and then Arthur Hastings busts in and is like, "Oh, hello. Do you want to go to this dinner while I play golf?" And Poirot is like, "Oh yeah, sure, that sounds great." And Miss Lemon's like, "I'm working here."
Yeah.
And Hastings is like, well, I had to talk to him, so I guess you're not. And Poirot gets very excited, and we find out that the reason that he's excited to go have dinner with this man
very solid line
is because he has the best selection of Belgian miniatures.
And what makes them so superior to other miniatures?
They are the biggest. Which is such a solid line.
Oh, it's so good.
You gotta love it.
That one did make me laugh out loud.
It's so fun.
There's a couple little moments like that in this episode with some very solid writing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's they're going to this estate for the captain's plate.
Yeah, it's like a golf tournament, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds very golfy and British.
Yeah.
So
they're staying at a hotel, right? First.
Yes.
They check in at a hotel.
No.
And
yeah, that's right.
Doesn't Poirot have 12 and Hastings has 13?
Yes.
I don't know why that stuck in my mind.
Yeah, no. Me too, because it's like those. Because usually I'm in like room 4032 or something like that. Not.
Yeah, and I'd like to think that they had like an adjoining suite.
Yeah. Now,
so like in Schitt's Creek, so that they could just barge in and chat with each other.
100%.
Yeah. And you don't have to bleep that because that is the name of the town.
Yeah. Oh, I'm aware. I thought about it for a second. I was like, oh, no, that gets a pass.
Yeah, right.
But we forgot a scene. There's a scene between these two things, and that's someone breaking in to Trufus's office with him there, and him like fending him off.
Yeah, that's the opening scene. I thought you mentioned that. No,
I did not. No.
Oh, okay.
That's a very important part.
Yeah, my bad. I thought you had said it, or else I would have stopped this before we moved on. Sorry.
All good.
Yeah,
I'm glad we caught it now.
Yeah.
So
we see
and
this
then
guy.
The whole place goes up in flames.
Yes. Christian Bale from Newsies comes in, and he burns the place to the ground. And he's like, I'm gonna close these gates and seize this information and point it to the ground.
And then he's like, no, you saw. You didn't seize it.
Oh. Yeah.
So yeah, we go to the home of Reuben Astwell, and he sucks.
Oh yeah. Yeah. They do a very Murder, She Wrote thing of like, hey, do you hate this guy?
Do you hate him yet? Do you hate him yet?
How about now?
One thing that Poirot is really not okay with is that he has all these miniatures, but he doesn't care a damn about any of them.
No, he doesn't.
Yeah.
He doesn't give a toss.
Right.
And he's like, it's like Poirot tries to engage with him about it. And he's like, I forgot I had them.
Like, oh yeah, I just bought those because, they looked good, or money or something.
I think it was an investment.
He got it at a very, very low price, and he bought it so that he could turn a profit on it.
Right. And
at some point.
He says something insulting about them too.
He's like, I don't care if the next buyer melts them down and, melts them down for scrap.
Yeah.
I just want to make money off of it.
Yeah. Of course, leaving Poirot absolutely
Miffed.
Horrified.
Yeah. And then there's a scene with the secretary, right?
Mrs. Musgrave?
Yes.
Yeah, Lily Musgrave. And she's sneaking around
she's snooping.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And he catches her, and she's like, "Oh, Lady Astwell thought that she left her glasses in here."
Mm-hmm. And like hogwash.
Yeah, because she stupidly, there's a paper lying on the ground, right underneath the file folder. I'm like, girl, look around.
Yeah, she doesn't do a good job of lying or snooping. So he pretty much fires her on the spot. But
yes, yes.
But stick around this weekend. We do need your help this weekend. But after that,
you're out of here.
Yeah.
And then he puts the files she was looking at in a safe behind a portrait of himself that is done in such a fun style. It's the aesthetic of the show, the opening credits, and it's so goofy. And I did laugh out loud because he does push a button on his desk and it opens. And it's one of those things of if you're trying to hide it, why would you put a button? Why isn't the button hidden?
Right, because someone's gonna see that button and just want to smash it.
Yeah, it's it just looks like a button. It doesn't look like a goofy, or hidden. It's not like Batman's hidden in a bust or anything.
Might as well have put right on top of the button.
Yeah,
someone's gonna smash that button.
That's right.
You are full of them today. Wow, it's very fun. You can tell by the amount of laughing I'm doing. I'm so sorry. Oh, boy.
Yes, funny things are funny and make people laugh.
Yes. And then they have dinner, right? They go to dinner.
Yes, and we should. Well, as we talk about the guests at dinner, so there's Lily.
Mm-hmm.
There's Nancy, who is Lady Astwell.
She's super nice.
Yeah. Very lovely woman. Both Hastings and Poirot are there, yeah?
Yeah.
Of course, Richard... what's his name? Mr. Astwell? It's not Richard, it's...
It's Reuben.
Reuben.
Okay.
And his brother Victor.
Right.
Astwell. And we saw in a previous scene a squabble between the two brothers at the factory after they found out about that nighttime fire.
Right.
And it's the file that Lily was trying to snoop at and that the brothers kind of squabbled over are plans for this thing called astroprene.
Yeah, which is a faux rubber compound.
Yes.
That has the strength of steel, apparently.
So it seems.
And is very durable.
Yeah.
And then we also... Go ahead.
No, that's okay. We're coming up on wartime, so...
Yeah. And so there's clearly a market, which we get to in this scene. And then there's also his cousin.
His nephew, Charles.
Yeah, Chucky. An allowance from Reuben because his father died.
Yeah, we later find out that it was basically his inheritance, and
yes, that's being doled out.
Yeah, like little by little. So he was put in trust of his uncle was put in trust of that because, you know, he was like, my son doesn't really know what to do with himself.
He's also like in his 20s, so like
yeah, he's a full adult.
Yeah.
Well,
who now wants to be a professional golfer.
But I was actually making the opposite point of like he's in his 20s. If he would receive a lump sum, he would have blown through that.
No, that's true.
Yeah.
But he is an adult. Like, it's one of those, I mean, I guess it's a better idea to give him the allowance, but it causes complications as well.
But Charles and Reuben also have a quarrel.
Yeah.
Before the dinner.
Has a fight with everybody in this.
Yeah, he's a very agitated man, Reuben. He's very boorish. But we also have Parsons, who's the butler, and then a maid whose name I can't remember.
Yeah, I can't remember the name of her either. She's only in like...
She's in a couple.
It up right now. Gladys.
Great.
So they're all sitting at dinner, and Reuben is like, there's a lot of money to be made in war. I've got a lot of things that I could do. I'm going to sell. And everyone's like, this is very distasteful.
Yeah.
Poirot especially, because he has fought in World War I, and he's like, I've seen firsthand what the armies of Germany can do, and don't be so flippant about it, and don't say that they're going to conquer Belgium first. That's very rude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's been incredibly rude to me.
He's the kind of guy who, like, right now would be sitting around being like, well, you know, there's a lot of money in vaccine research, and I mean, some people are like, sure, some people are gonna die of the virus, but whatevs.
As long as I can make a buck.
Yeah. Yeah.
Early. And Charles, Poirot, and Hastings go out to the golf club to have a drink. Yeah. And they find out that Charles hates Reuben, and he calls him a bully and a liar.
Yeah. He's pretty drunk.
Yeah, he's very toasty. Also, at some point, Lily goes out into the garden and speaks with Christian Bale from Newsies. And then...
And a piece of fabric tears off of her dress and lands on a branch.
Yes. And then Victor and Lady Astwell have a row with Reuben.
Yeah.
And then Charles comes back and is gonna have a row with Reuben also, because everybody hates Reuben. And then he's like, oh, jeepers, gah. And then you hear a thump, and he's like, well.
Yeah.
And Parsons, the butler, sees all of this.
Yeah. And as Hastings and Poirot are leaving, both of them, they have a little debrief with each other, like, whoa, that was an unpleasant evening. I wish I hadn't gone.
Yeah.
Yeah. They don't normally do that.
No. They're generally very polite, even post dealing with nasty people.
Yeah, like, wait till you guys get back to your bedrooms.
Yeah.
Just open the door and talk about how unpleasant it was.
I say, Poirot, wasn't that man absolutely ghastly? Hastings, I am trying to sleep.
Perfect. Exactly right.
Yeah.
And so everybody comes back in the morning because it has been discovered that Reuben Astwell has been dead.
Has there been a deadening? Yes, he is. Gladys finds his body and drops his morning tea and shrieks as there want to do. And immediately, a hearse
More
rolls
like
up.
Mattis. Because her name is Gladys.
Oh, okay.
And she's mad about the murder happening.
Yep. Exactly right.
Tristan?
I don't understand. I don't understand the joke, and also why you would make it.
By the way, on My Brother and Me this week, Travis made a something him, I hardly know him joke, and I'm
You
like,
loved it.
Has Travis just been talking to Tristan too much? Is that what's going on?
Perhaps.
Getting some inspiration from his new buddy Tristan.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's a shame. Like, it's amazing how well that show is doing after they appeared on our show.
I know.
You know,
and on Tristan's show. We're really putting those McElroy boys on the map.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, who would have thought?
Yeah. It is with great humility that we recognize our accomplishments here at Amateur Detective Club.
Yeah, it's good.
Launching unknowns. That's so funny.
We love to boost them up.
Yeah.
Give a kid a chance.
Yeah, give a kid a chance. They have families.
Yeah.
Go to maximum.
Join us on Twitter at Give the Kids a Chance. That's the hashtag.
Bring the ladies back. Give the kids a chance. Take a chance. Take a chance. So immediately the press shows up as well, because it's a big fuss, because this guy owns a huge company. He's a well-known businessman.
Yeah.
And then we are examining the murder scene, and Hastings and Poirot are already there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Hastings says something amazing like, I guess I can't play in the golf tournament.
Oh, yeah, and then Poirot's like, yes, anything else would be bad.
Yeah, like, show a little respect for this awful person who's been killed. So at a certain point during this whole kerfuffle, Charles goes into the bathroom to clean some blood off of himself, and Gladys walks in on him, and they're like, and then...
Yes, because he's washing blood, not doing anything with himself.
Right.
Yeah. What are you doing in the bathroom for so long? Just washing off blood, dear.
Oh, is that all?
Oh, that's fine then. As long as you're not doing anything naughty. God can forgive murder, but not wastefulness, if you know what I'm saying.
Oh!
Truly skating the line this episode.
Can't have you going blind, love.
Lord knows we can't afford spectacles for you. You're working in the factory. We're really fleshing out this character.
Oh, I love that cutscene. Exclusive only to us at Amateur Detective Club.
Yeah, and so he bolts for it. Charles is running through the woods. They got bloodhounds they're running after.
Yeah, he doesn't just bolt. He Usain bolts it out of there. Like, he is like...
Even Jesse Owens is like, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because of course the police find out that he has had a fight with his uncle, and now he's pieced out, and it's like, oh, well, that seems suspicious, I guess.
Yeah, he's literally been caught red-handed.
And I love, like, how the cops were just like, that one officer was like, get in the cars, like, with no explanation of what is going on to any of the officers around them. They don't know where they're going. And because he doesn't even get into the front car. Like, he gets into, like, the middle of the pack car.
Yeah.
Like, Nobody knows where we're going but you.
Yep.
Yeah, and everyone's running through, and including Hastings, and they finally catch up to him, and Hastings just looks winded. He is like, and he gives a very forlorn look to Charles because they were friends-ish.
Yeah.
No, they were actual friends. They were actual
Right.
friends, which is how they got invited.
Yeah.
To the dinner.
Correct.
Yes. And so then he gets arrested, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't talk to him for a while, do they?
No, I don't think so.
No, they don't talk to him for a while.
Yeah,
it's a shame that Charles isn't in charge.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's a TV show reference.
Of our days and our lives, because he murders. If I was gonna say, if you have a gun, you're in charge of everybody's life when you think about it. But anyway, they go in and Poirot starts his investigation in earnest. And they hypnotize. He brings Ms. Lemon in to hypnotize Lady Astwell, and it works.
Yeah.
And they get some.
Except for like Lily.
Oh, who clearly doesn't want it to work.
Oh yeah, she's like talking over the whole thing.
She's like,
"Do you just leave the room?"
Well, yeah, I mean, yes, but she clearly is trying to sabotage it.
No.
Right.
Or like, they should have shushed her out. They should have been like,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, very suspicious.
But they learn through this that not only are Victor and Lady Astwell in love, which is salacious and apparent from the get-go, that there was someone behind the curtain in the office.
It's all very Hamlet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I suppose it is, isn't it?
Uh-huh.
Ah. Ah.
In love with the brother, someone behind a curtain.
Behind a curtain.
Yep.
Family drama.
Yeah.
And
then it all falls apart from there. But those two things.
Yeah. Poirot gets to the point where like he like straight up asked like who the murderer was.
Yeah.
And like she's struggling, and like it seems like she's like getting to like she's getting somewhere in her mind. And Lily just shouts and disrupts it, and she starts to like come out of hypnosis because of Lily.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's way too many people in this room for the hypnosis.
100%. And she also says that it's not Charles.
Right.
And he's like, but why? And then that's because of the curtain. Because he was out. He was with Poirot and Hastings. He has a solid alibi.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And then from there, we see Lily going to the hotel, yeah?
Yeah.
To drop off... Yeah?
Yeah, to drop off a package.
Okay. For,
Christian Bale and Newsies.
Yes, but Tristan, want to ask me what his name was?
What's his name?
Mr. Naylor.
I hardly know her.
Oh, there it is.
Which, that one actually works as well.
Yeah, that one actually works.
Too naughty again.
It's different
Gladys,
characters.
get out of here.
More like Mattis, am I right? Because she's mad about that murder.
I don't understand.
Yeah, and Hastings sees this and watches it and actually gathers some valuable information.
Yeah. Which is wonderful.
I know. Poirot seems way less surprised than I would have been under the circumstances. Poirot's just like, very nice, Hastings. Thank you. That's very good. I don't know what that accent was, but you know. Yeah. So, Hastings does something right for once.
Yeah, it's very nice.
Yeah.
And
I mean, but it was like the most Hastings way to find information. He's following a woman, a very attractive woman somewhere.
That looks like Isabel from Animal Crossing. But yeah. And then Poirot is investigating the dining room. No,
Poirot investigates the dining room.
Yeah. He's going to go talk to Parsons to get the story about Charles. And they're in the dining room, and Gladys cuts herself on part of a knife that is sticking out of the table. And Poirot's like, and he gives her the napkin, his handkerchief, and then she, they go take care of her. And Poirot's like, and then you get the scene where Poirot and Hastings meet up and share information.
But before that, Gladys returns and is like, "Oh, I'll have your handkerchief washed." And he's like, "No, actually, I'll take that back."
Yep.
I'll take it with the blood, please.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I was so confounded as to what he was going to do with this, because we're not in DNA times.
I'm going to produce a clone of you. So you can yell at Ace. You can yell at Ace things about this time in the bathroom. We're having some fun here, folks.
Unlike the other episodes.
I wish I recorded this meeting, the video.
Oh, sure. I was like, we are recording it. It's a podcast.
God, I hope we're recording it. Ooh.
But they go back to their hotel to discuss the evidence. And then, for some reason, they speak with Gladys, right? At the Astwells estate. And then for some reason, Poirot says something to her that makes her just up and leave right away.
I'm a little fuzzy on this too. Yeah, at some point, he does convince Gladys to let him see Lily's dress because he's found that piece of fabric. Yes, that's the confrontation. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And he confronts her with that, and then the handkerchief, and then the file thing. He alludes to that, and she's like, woo, and she runs off to a bus. And Hastings is like, she's gonna go to this place because he looked it up.
Exhibition Road.
Yes, for the under the reservation at the hotel. Mm-hmm. And so they go to Exhibition Road and they find Christian Bale from a movie where he plays a scientist because he no longer has the hat. Right. Which is what I should explain. The reason he's from Newsies, he has a newsboy cap. I know that both of you understand what
yeah.
doing. I should have explained that 20 minutes ago. But he says he...
Get on our level, everybody.
Yeah. But he says he came up with the formula. Ravioli, show me that formuloni. For the rubber.
And the reason so he takes this dress because he's found the piece of fabric. So he gets Gladys to show him the dress. He takes a piece of the dress and he stains the dress with his own blood. So he can pull it out later and be like, "Oh, look, I found this blood-stained piece of your dress."
Or is it wine? He also suggests.
Yeah, because the wine at the dinner is very bad. Wine coolers all around. But they're confronting the scientist, and he's like, I was working
more like Sauvignon Blanc.
Oh, yay.
Not my best.
No, you didn't. You kidding me? So he came up with a formula and essentially Astwell went into agreement with him to develop it, and then said never mind. And then this scientist read in the trade papers that a formula was being developed by Astwell, and then he's like, "Oh, that's my formula," and so he's trying to get it back and sabotage the whole thing because he's getting swindled.
Yeah.
And they're like, "Oh, okay." And then it's the parlor reveal after this, right?
Yeah, I was gonna say that we should.
There's a scene with Charles where he tells him the truth. In that he's still arrested, and Charles tells him the truth, and then it's the parlor reveal, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we should take a break. Hey everybody, this is the ad break.
Oh, here we are.
Well, that's
We're
unavoidable.
in the zone.
So-
Yeah, we're in the void again.
Oh.
Close the door.
Truly.
What you doing in the void all the time? It's the void. It ain't got no door, has it? So if you want to go to scavengersnetwork.com,
Oh.
perused some of the finery there, you can. They got a Twitch channel. They're an affiliate now. Go check out Scavengers Network on twitch.tv. And you can check out, they have many podcasts, and you can check those out. Historical Hotties, Melissa and I have been on. Spooky Spouses, Myth Takes, which is an actual play podcast that's ramping up. It's really fun.
I really like how Myth Takes sounds like
Mistakes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I know it has to have been on purpose.
100%.
It's fun.
100%. Speaking of Newsies, you can listen to Newsies Minute on scavengersnetwork.com. And I'm going to read the description to you now as soon as I'm done stalling for time. Newsies Minute.
The throat clearing really makes it good.
In 1992, the year I was born.
Oh, God.
That's me editorializing. They don't have that in the copy.
The year Tristan Miller was born.
As it would come to be known once his fame and fortune abound.
Well, I mean, you launched the career of the McElroys, so it makes sense.
Yeah.
That's right. Yes.
There is BC, AD, and AT. Lots of Disney studios echoed with the voices of Newsy, peddling the songs of Alan Menken, Jack Feldman, and other giants of the musical world. Yeah, they just talk about Newsies.
That's great.
I gave up. It's like 2 paragraphs.
Sounds pretty old.
Oh, that's...
Oh.
Oh.
Just kidding. I'll listen.
But like in a good way.
Yeah. Olsies, but a good Z's. You can go to our teespring.com/themel. Get some merchandise there that we have. It's in the show notes. Check it out. I've said my piece. Oh, one more thing, Rich. Our one Patreon that gives us more than $10. I'm legally required to say butt soup every episode until he stops. It's a curse. Butt soup.
Okay.
Talk to your boyfriend about it. It's not my fault that I have to keep saying butt soup, butt soup.
Like,
Yeah,
but,
you know,
like, is it like butt soup? Or is it like butt soup?
No, there's
Okay.
2 T's.
Yeah, it's like butt soup. That's the one.
Okay.
Also known as ass water.
And I'm out. Ugh.
Ugh.
But before I go,
Get out of my swamp.
before I climb to the surface, let me tell you that we are on social media, on Facebook, on Twitter, and on Instagram with the pictures at ADC Pod. That is at ADC Pod, like the initials of our podcast name with pod after it. And you can find us there, and it's very fun. And you can engage with us, talk to us, because we know that you have things to say. Nice things. Only nice things. And if you want to be a member of the Facebook group, the Amateur Detective Club, please answer the questions. Please. We need you to answer the questions so we know that you're you.
Hey there, sexy mamas and jive turkeys. You got some scratch to spend?
I'm sorry. Melissa said, like you were addressing her. Oh, like, which one are you, Melissa? Both? Yes, I do believe I'm a sexy mama. Please continue. I'm sorry, Tyler.
I can't.
He had his whole thing ready.
I was so ready to go.
Just take two. Take two.
From the top or just keep going?
No, from the top. Let's take it from the top. B marker and action.
Hey there, sexy mamas and jive turkeys. You know where to spend your scratch? Head on over to patreon.com/ADCpod. Become an Ace Gumshoe for $10 per month, where you can place an ad for your business or for yourself. You can also receive early access to shows, plus bonus episodes and content. Anything below $10 makes you a real cold sucker. But you can still give us... For $3, you can become a private investigator, where you don't get to place an ad, but you'll still receive early access to all the shows, plus bonus episodes and content. For $1 a month makes you an amateur sleuth, where you just receive bonus episodes and content. Check us out again at patreon.com/ADCpod.
No words can describe the masterpiece that I've just witnessed.
It's true. It's left us speechless.
It's so funny. All right, so they've gathered. It's an office reveal. They go through the motives one by one, which is obviously the formula. Then
being cut off.
Yeah, being cut off. Victor had a reason as well.
I think it was also like it was about the formula, just more so in the handling and the selling of the license for the formula.
Yeah, because Victor doesn't want him to sell the formula to Nazis, which is like a normal thing.
Yeah, and there's also the fact that he wants to bone his brother's wife.
There's that too.
Mm-hmm. There is
could
that
be
as
a
well.
Motivating factor there. Again, like like Hamlet.
Yeah.
Ham, let them be.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, like those are just really the motives that people have.
Yeah. And then in a crazy twist of events, it's none of those people. It's in fact Troifus, who there's some addendum in the contract that he signed where he potentially could get no money if there was if it didn't sell. Because
in order for him to make money, it had to be produced by Astwell Industries.
Right. And since there was already a competitor on the market, and there was also people like the formula had leaked already to Germany, he was like, meh. I need to make sure that Astwell does this, I guess.
Yeah, it was a little weak sauce to me.
Yeah, and he also hates him. Everyone hates Ruben.
He's just the worst. I mean, that's completely fair.
Mm-hmm.
He's got a very murderable personality.
Yeah, I just think I thank God there were no animals in this episode because I feel like he would have kicked one. Like, he's just that type of dude.
He's like Disney villain bad. Like,
yeah.
Okay, so once an episode, Melissa, you slam 2 words together that should not go, and it just is so fun. It's so delightful.
It comes out of me not thinking of the actual word for anything at all.
But it's like, hey, baby, has anyone ever told you got a real murderable personality? So yeah, he did it for money.
Yeah.
Money is the motivator.
And then he gets carted away. Do we have like a sting at the end? Like, do we get a fun?
We have Hastings on the golf course, and Mrs. Lemon tries to hypnotize him to get a hole in one.
Oh yeah, yes, this is the best, and he does.
Yes.
And he does.
Poirot has like
and
this really dope cane that like also has like not a telescope.
Yeah.
That's what. Okay.
Yeah. It's amazing. It's the coolest cane ever, except for sword canes.
I somehow missed that. I'll have to go back and look at the episode.
Good. Like,
it's a good cane.
Canes are to Poirot what umbrellas are to the Penguin.
Yeah. They look similar also. David Suchet should play the Penguin at some point.
Wow, that'd be really good. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we have Colin Farrell, which is a fascinating choice. I'm deeply curious.
Huh.
Yeah. With Robert Pattinson's Batman that's coming out.
I think he'll be fair.
Oh my gosh, that's right.
I'm calling it quits.
Well, you don't have that power. I call the meeting to order, and I will say when this is.
And I would imagine we should probably rate it first.
I want to say one more thing.
Yes.
It is that Hastings does when he makes the goal. He does go, good Lord. And it's like, da, 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 da. Oh, I forgot. They do an insane thing in one of the like dramatic push-ins. They do a freeze frame in this episode. They push in on Poirot's face, and then they freeze frame because they clearly didn't have more of the shot, and they were like, we need to tease it out.
Wow.
Oh, that's wild. Yeah. They never do that in the show. It's true.
Yeah, it was very funny, very, very out of character.
Yeah.
But yeah, what are we giving this one?
I'll go. I give it a 3.5. That's fine. Like, it was pretty fun. It got a little muddled at the end there for me because just so many people wanted to kill him and so many people seemed to have better motives than this guy. There's this whole thing with, it gets very deep into like Lily and her backstory and like how she was actually had a different name and she like changed it on her references so that people wouldn't recognize her name, and then it's like
she has a German name because she's brothers with Christian Bale from Newsies.
Well, sister.
Sorry, siblings.
Yeah. So she had to change that so that she could get hired and like snoop around. But yeah, so it kind of takes some like weird turns in the plot for me that I didn't, wasn't totally on board with. It wasn't the best for me ever, but there's a lot of fun bits. The whole hypnosis thing is great. Miss Lemon's wearing a real cool outfit on the golf course. But yeah, it was fun. I had a good time, and it wasn't the best ever, but it was a good episode.
I'm so mad at myself over the mistake error made just moments ago with the brother thing. I could have said, brother, you hardly know her.
We have to have at least 3 of those per episode.
Comedy rule of 3.
Otherwise Satan comes after me and is like, the bargain. I give it a 3. It's a perfectly serviceable episode of Poirot. There's a mystery. There's some fun characters. There are some very fun moments. What I do like, I'm going to give it a 3.5 for this reason. Hastings is actually helpful. And good. And it's really nice. And it was really nice to see that, and I hope we see some more from it. But yeah, it's a perfectly serviceable episode. Nothing particularly egregious nor fantastic.
I give it a 4.5.
Oh.
I have not enjoyed Poirot this much since probably like season 2.
Ooh, that's a fair point.
This, I had so much fun with it. It was far from like a perfect mystery, but I just had such a great time, and I was like engaged throughout. Like there were moments like of fuzziness for me in the recounting of it, but like through no fault of the performers on the show, but like some of like the episodes that we've watched more recently have been kind of like there's a bit of like it reaches a bit of a slog at points. Some of the episodes are just like, okay. And then like I'll get back into it. This, like I was just engaged throughout from beginning to end. I had a great time. I agree with everything that you both have said earlier about the episode. I also, even though I knew who the killer was, I still, I need, not until the end that I really get, the motivation. And the motivation still was weak sauce, as Melissa pointed out before. But, I also forgot that he was at the dinner.
Yeah.
So, because my thing in figuring it out was oh, he's at the parlor reveal. He obviously did it because where has he been this entire episode? So why is he here?
Yeah. Yeah. He gets interviewed by Poirot at some point, which we failed to mention, but it just doesn't matter because it doesn't go anywhere.
Because you see him the least of all the suspects. So when he showed up in the final scene, it was oh, obviously it's him.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And to your point, Tyler, I think I'm grading it on a scale of this is a standard episode of Poirot. It's good compared to everything else we've been watching. It's back to the same quality, the standards to which I hold the show. Does that make sense? Yeah. I agree with you that way. That the previous season had, and I think a lot of it had to do with the runtime, just was kind of exhausting.
Yeah.
No fault of, I guess the writers and the edit, I don't know. It's also really hard to adapt novels, which is what they were doing.
And it's also hard to adapt short stories as well and then stretch them out to movie length as well.
Yeah.
So
go ahead.
I didn't really have I was just going to reiterate what I just said. So
yeah,
jump on in.
Yeah, no, in season 4, ABC Murders I felt was the most successful and the one I enjoyed the most. And then it just kind of, but this is actually also adapted from a short story that was in a magazine at some point.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it was 2 words in that case, the underdog, as opposed to this, which is underdog. I really Shatnered that there. But yeah, it was in Mystery Magazine and then in London Magazine.
I'm so sorry. Could you imagine just Poirot? I can't explain to you why I'm innocent, but you have to believe me. He'd be so good.
Yeah. I now call this meeting of the... Nope, I don't yet.
Next week on...
Oh, yeah.
Amateur Detective Club. Pardon me. We are talking about Poirot, Season 5... Episode 3, which I'm bringing up right now, which is The Yellow Iris. A man celebrates the 2-year anniversary of his wife's sudden death by cyanide while in Argentina, a death which Poirot himself had witnessed, but could not solve in time.
This sounds great. I'm very excited about it. I don't know the story.
I just don't know why I was cut off when I was going to say I now call this meeting of the Amateur Detective Club to tell us about next week's episode. Obviously.
Yeah.
A perfectly normal sentence that we say every week.
Yeah.
Melissa, can you read back the minutes for me of last week? Can we get someone to confirm that?
I'm just me glaring at you doesn't work on a podcast, does it?
It truly doesn't. But she gave me a look that I haven't seen in years. By which I mean since last week.
Yeah, there you go.
All right, but I now truly call this meeting of the Amateur Detective Club to a close.
Gavel sound.
What you doing in there for so long?
Gladys, no!